Hello, this is Compound Ninja Stock Guy, and today we're going to be talking about Aurora Cannabis as their quarterly results. So we're going to get into that. It's going to be good. I hope you enjoy this video. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, it'd be cool if you subscribe. I'd love to have more subscribers, grow my channel, have a bigger following. That'd be awesome. If you want to give me a comment on what you think of this video, that's awesome. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this video. Give me a thumbs down if you dislike it. And yeah, before I get into this, I want to explain I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment and information purposes. Do not buy a stock because I talk about it here. Buy it because you did your research, your due diligence, and you like the company. So yeah. So here you got Aurora Cannabis, 7:17 for close, but after hours it's 7:08. So people who are listening to the conference call, actually no, that's wrong. Actually, yeah, a little bit of that I think it was around here. People were selling from the conference call. So we'll see tomorrow. I bought 2 call options today. I'm not going to say I wasn't very happy where I bought them at, probably around here or so. I could have done a lot better. I wasn't thinking straight. So yeah, let's do this. So the monthly chart, it was going, and then it's like just sliding down. You know, who knows what's going to happen. You know, is it going to go down to it? The fear is to go back down to $6 US, or pretty much around $8.59 Canadian. But I mean, it can also go back up to almost 12 US, and that would be around like 16, 15 Canadian. So yeah, it's hard to say. It's just gonna be depending on where the big money, what they think of it. It is the biggest revenues any cannabis company has ever seen. So I mean, it has that going for it. But we're gonna dig it deep into this. But before we do that, I want to share, because I've never seen this before on any cannabis company, where it says gross revenue as well as net revenue. So I had to figure this out for myself. So I watched this this link, and it says if you sell a dozen cars for $30,000 each, your gross revenue is $360,000. But if 2 customers return their cars for a full refund, your net revenue is $300,000. So your net revenue is everything what you actually make. The gross revenue is just it's as if I was to sell you say like 20 pairs of shoes for $100, and that's $2,000, and then I gave you a 30 days that you could return your shoes, and you decided to return 2 pairs of shoes. Well, then I'd only get 18 pairs of shoes for sales, and I would do $1,800 in sales, I guess. I think that's what it equals. Yeah. So yeah, 1,800. So that's pretty much what it means. And yeah, it's interesting because we're gonna get into this. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. This is second quarter, December 31st, 2018. It ended. So that equals 2.5 months of rec sales as well as medical sales. So yeah. So here it says it had gross revenue 62 million. And somehow I guess there was a return of around close to 8 million. So that's 54.178 million. And then cannabis net revenue is 47 577. So I don't know what the difference is where there's a 7 million, where they're getting that revenue from. Is it from sales of apparel, or do they sell grinders, vaporizers, that kind of stuff? I know they had a deal with Namaste, I guess. So they were selling vaporizers on their website. Maybe they probably still have that deal going. As far as I know, the deal's still going. But yeah. So it says their loss of earnings is attributed to common shareholders of 237 million, looks like. And they have working capital of 274 million after that December 31st. And they have cannabis inventory and biological assets of 79.924 million, and their total assets are 4,875,000,000 and 884,000. So, and then it says their cash cost of sales per gram produced was $1.92, and they so that's 36% higher. What I think that's attributable to is the fact with the rec market, you have to put excise stamps on and all that's like different packages maybe. So yeah, it just adds more labor, and that's what makes their cash cost higher. So it's 36% higher, and says they got, as year over year 239% higher patients. So they had 21,718 last year, and now they have 73,579. And their average net selling price of dried cannabis is $623, and it's down from a year, which was $786, and last quarter was $839. I'm just gonna take a little drink, just chill. Okay, so $839 was their last quarter, which was a lot higher than a year ago, right? So basically that was what they were doing really good with their sales price per gram. But then when they have to sell it to the rec market, it sounds as though they're probably selling their grams for around $5 to $5.50. So that's really kind of killing their margins. So yeah, it's just basically it's affecting their revenues and their margins. I mean, the government's just really taking a lot of money out of the game and making it harder for these LPs to really kill it. That's why you see in the States, you see companies such as Friday Night Inc. They have 22,000 square feet, but they did 4.6 million last quarter. And Aurora's got a 1 million square feet facility, but as well as a 55,000 square feet facility in, maybe it was 40,000, but it's the Aurora Mountain. And then they also have Aurora V in Quebec. So I'm not sure how many square feet it is, but they're probably around like 1.1 million square feet. But they're not fully functioning in all the facilities, but they are ramping it up. So it says their average net selling price of cannabis extracts is $10, and it was $12.12 last quarter, and it was $13.35 a year ago. What extracts, I believe, is cannabis oil. So CBD or THC oil, I believe that's what they explain what cannabis extracts is. And then it said they did close to 8,000 produced, 7822 kilograms, and last quarter was 4966 kilograms. So they moved up 57%, and they have 550% year over year. So that's pretty good. I mean, they're not close to doing 100,000 kilograms. I mean, it might take them 2 or 4 or 5 more quarters till they get up to 100,000 kilograms. And that's when, if they're selling it at $6.23 per gram, that's where they'd make $600 million per year. So based on that, 7822 is basically, it's close to around 31 million grams per year. So that, like, based on that, they'd be close to about maybe 200 million, somewhere around that range. But they're gonna have higher price products with edibles, and infused beverages and their capsules, and then with Europe. So they got some ways to go. And for people that are thinking that they're gonna do $1 billion in 2019, that's probably not gonna happen. I was thinking that they'd probably be around 400 to $600 million per year, and I still think they have a shot, because basically they have 78 million in inventory. And if they're growing faster, and now they have Whistler Cannabis, MedRelease gonna grow more, Canamed, and then they're gonna have exportation to UK as they did today. They said in the news release, they'll be closer to, I mean, they're probably gonna inch up towards 100 to 150 in the next few quarters. I mean, whether they hit 100 next quarter, I think they'll be very close. And then with Whistler Medical, that's going to help their revenues. Whether Whistler maybe makes 20 million per year, that'll add another 5-10 million. Like, maybe they're going to grow more. So that's going to help out their revenues. And it says they were 1 kilogram short of doing 7,000 kilograms this quarter. So it's a 502% year over year on sales. So yeah, I mean, I didn't even have to read this. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm really smart, so I figure this stuff out on my own, because I do my research. But that's what they're saying. They're saying their selling prices were impacted by the excise taxes, as well as lower wholesale pricing. Going forward, Aurora intends to continue prioritizing medical patients in Canada and globally, where margins continue to exceed those achieved on the wholesale. So yeah, one time ramp up, and as there was brought up, so they say their margins were increased by packaging requires and one-time ramp up and optimization costs as our Sky facility was brought up to full production. And the company anticipates that the launch of new derivative products. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I'm not trying to brag, but I know what the F I'm talking about. It's basically when there's edibles and there's concentrates and there's infused beverages, improve margins. Just look at where I'm highlighting. That's what I'm saying. Yep. The company is performing well in the Canadian consumer market, recording 21.6 million of revenue in Q2 2019 based on available data released by. So, that's interesting. What day is it? It's February 11th. So that's about 40 days in. So it's about maybe like it's 40% of the quarter almost. So, or a little more. So they really need to ramp up their revenues. Whether they say that, I don't know what they're talking about, whether that was a week or two ago, but yeah. So they say it's complete and commissioned and is expected to reach its full production capacity based on shortly, and recent harvests completed to date have exceeded target yields, reflecting that the facility's commissioning has been successful. So what commissioning is that so say they have 100,000 square feet facility, they slowly commission and start ramping up in each area. So say they'd ramp up 10,000 square feet and get that running, because there can be errors and they just have to be accurate and just work, and it's slow commissioning, and then eventually they'll get up to 30,000 square feet, 50,000 square feet, 60,000, and then so on. But that's what commissioning is. But yeah. And non-cash expenses, mark-to-market adjustments of approximately $190 million, primarily in the company's derivative invested, contributes significantly to a net loss of $240 million. So that's not really good. Let's be real. You never want to see a company make a loss. If you had your own business and you're making a loss, are you going to be happy about it? Ask yourself that. I don't think so. But it's a growing industry, and they have to expect that they're going to make losses, and it's going to pay dividends eventually, but they're in the growth phase. And but I think they do need to really tighten up the ship if they want to be profitable really soon. So yeah, that's my opinion. So there's significant driver of Aurora's revenue growth over the next 12 to 18 months is the company's scale up of high quality production available for sale to the Canadian consumer market and the Canadian and international medical markets. Aurora is now operating at an annualized production rate of approximately 120,000 kg based on Health Canada approved plan, and expects to reach in excess by, that's all smoke and mirrors. Let's be real, guys and girls, that ain't happening. They ain't gonna do 150,000 kilograms in 2019. If you think that, you're smoking some good reefer, because it's not the reality. The reality is they might do 40 to 60,000 kilograms in 2019. So yeah, 40,000, and that's where they have to bump up their price per gram with their edible line and infused, where maybe it's closer to $8 for the whole year. If their edibles is like 10 or 12, and then their exports, if they're doing more exports, then that's how they're going to get to the 300 to 500 million or so that I was kind of thinking about. The more I read this report, I'm almost lowering my guidance. Just a second. All right, I'm good to go. So the company anticipates that they'll be operating at full capacity, as well as continued reduction in operating costs The cash cost to produce per gram will trend significantly lower, they expect. So that's the goal. They want to be below $1 per gram, which is a key. The lower, the better, especially come, say, 3 to 5 years when there's a lot of production. Like when these companies are doing, say, 300 to 500,000 kilograms a year, and then the whole recreational is doing, say, 1 million kilograms per year, and they're exporting it around the globe. That's where you need to you need to lower your cost per gram, because the price that they're going to be selling to the open market is eventually going to go down in price. So I just skim through it, let's be real, I can't read everything. I just try to get the good. The longer term, the company expects that the launch of new higher value added derivative product lines in relation to anticipated changes in health care, as well as the introduction of derivative products will contribute to further revenue growth and margin expansion. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. So, yeah, they strongly and stimulated by the 83% revenue growth over last quarter. Yeah, so their last quarter was 29 million. So doing 54 million is not pretty impressive, yeah. Yeah, MedRelief Bradford facilities ramping up production as anticipated and operating at full capacity. We are reiterating our earlier guidance of achieving sustained EBITDA positive results from the second calendar quarter of this year, our fiscal Q4. And we are pleased with our recent placement of $345 million in convertible by high-quality U.S. Canadian international institutions, and offer Aurora the flexibility and optionality to settle the entire principal in future for cash, shares, or any combination thereof. Okay, so let's be real. They're probably going to be having to issue shares. I mean, I think so. Unless they end up making, say, $2 billion per year. Yeah. It's a unique time, and they position as we maintain a high cadence of increasing product supply and international market expansion. And Terry Booth concluded that their strong and the medical and consumer are early mover advantage in a growing list of important international markets. Together with our leadership in high-quality CBD-rich hemp production, Aurora is strategically positioned across the entire cannabis industry value chain to further extend our rapid growth. So that's true. I mean, he does make a point. If they're going to do hemp CBD products in the USA in the near term, that could really boost their revenues, as well as around the globe. So, I mean, that could really boost their revenues. So now they have 23 countries that they're in. And they export to Poland in October 2018. Aurora Deutschland shipped to products to a pain treatment center and hospital in Warsaw, making that's pretty cool. They're shipping products from their Deutschland facility. I don't really know much about that Deutschland facility, to be honest. But the fact that they're shipping products in Poland, that means that they're really are actually a global company. They're not just exporting. This isn't exporting, but it's a very close proximity exportation. Yeah, it's the first time a non-government run business has been granted approval to supply medical cannabis products in the country. And they export to Czech Republic, During Q2, the company secured export permits and completed its first shipment of medical cannabis, a Czech pharmaceutical wholesaler, and then they exported to Luxembourg. In December 2018, was selected by the Luxembourg Health Ministry for the supply of medical cannabis to the country and an initial purchase order for an approximate 20 kilograms. Okay, so they probably sold that for, I don't know, $15 to $25 per gram. So, I don't know, I think that's close to like, let's do the math. I'm pretty good with math, but it's hard to do a lot of things at once. $20 times 1,000. K times 15. Okay, so $300,000 to around $500,000. That's what I kind of thought. I just want to double check. So it's not a huge order, but Luxembourg's a very small country in Europe, and they exported to Mexico on December 7th, 2018 to acquire Farmacias, and the company entered into discussions with Mexican pharmaceutical manufacturers to import Aurora THC products for distribution to Mexican medical cannabis product. The company believes that Farmacias is the only company with the required to import and distribute products with a THC greater than 1%. Well, that's good. And then they just did it today. That's what they're talking about. Well, they announced it. So it was announced on November 1st, and they're enhancing their UK operations to ensure patients access to a range of cannabis-based. And they launch of Canada's first legal vape-ready CBD on October 16th. They're all necessary compliance verifications, and the Aurora Cloud, so that's like a CBD vape product, and they're the only CBD vape products available in Canada, full spectrum. And their launch of soft gel capsules on December 3rd to the Canadian medical and consumer markets from a state-of-the-art Aurora V as an alternative drug delivery method. And Aurora intends to make this high-volume smoke-free available to key domestic and international markets where legally permissible. I haven't tried their THC or, they have indica, I think, capsules and sativa capsules. But I have tried their CBD capsules, and they're a good product. I think they're 30 capsules for $45 plus shipping and taxes. So it's not a bad price. I think it's a good deal. Comparative to, say, getting CBD oil, you don't have to do the syringe thing, and it's just very discreet. If 40 clinical trials and case studies completed or in progress, 7 preclinical trials in progress, and 6 new partnerships with leading academic institutions in development. Yeah, so they acquired ICC Labs on November 22, 2018, and they have over 70% market share in Uruguay and licenses to produce medical cannabis in Colombia. So they're calling themselves the industry leader in South America. And about like 12 days ago, they acquired Whistler Medical Marijuana Corporation. They're one of the most iconic cannabis, providing Aurora with a premium price and differentiated organic certified product suite to expand its medical and consumer offerings. Yeah, before I forget about this, I want to explain this. There's some people online on YouTube that are saying that, oh, I don't think it's worth 175 million, and that's open for debate. But I'll show you why I think maybe they are. If you put it into terms, because if you look at what they are, why did they buy them? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you straight up why. They bought them because they're basically competition. In Aurora's strategy, what I've been seeing in them, what they do is they take away their competition. They don't want to have any competition. So they got this CBD shark this is 3.5 grams, and that's, yeah. How many grams do they got? Let's check this shit out, motherfucker. So yeah, they got 50 of those, so close to about 165 grams. But these are going for about like $16-18 per gram, so it's pretty expensive. So, and they're an organic company, so they're not TGA, they're not as big, but the fact that they got that, that can really add revenues to them. And BC is the gray market is in control, so for them to even have that much sales in BC will be impressive. So you want to, if these companies want to make a lot of money in BC, they need to have the top quality stuff. So yeah, so $17.99 for this is a gram of pre-rolls. Hindu Kush pre-roll and lamb spread blueberry lamb spread pre-roll. And then let's check out their I don't think they have any capsules, but just for F's sake, try not to swear. It's just get into this. So yeah, so this is, I think it's like 15 So this is a very high margin product. Let's be real. You got other companies that, like, that's what it says, 1.875 grams per unit, and it's 25 milligram THC per milliliter. So if they're selling a lot of this, I mean, they can make mad money on that. That's why they bought they bought Whistler Medical. And let's look at on here. I'm loving it. Yeah, so best selling. They're not the best selling, but you got 8. This is Aurora product. And these are pretty high. Like, this is almost double the price of Chronos Group, because Chronos is Peace Naturals. So yeah, that's Peace Naturals as well. This is Hexo, but Whistler Medical is in the 12th place, and there's all these other ones. So I think it's selling pretty good in BC stores. You got Emblem, and this is Organigram and Tweed. So yeah, I mean, I think if that's pretty much because they're not gonna buy out Hexo or Chronos, but if they can take away shelf space and competition and add it to their, like, be accredited to their business, that's what they do. I mean, that's what they did with Metterleaf. You look at, I'll show you this too. I mean, I don't agree with everything that Aurora does, and I'm not a shareholder. I just bought some call options. That's it. I'm not a shareholder. I think they have a lot of shares out, but I still think that people love this company. So I'm gonna say, I don't know. I figured they were going to do good revenues, so I was going to buy a couple call options. Yeah, so this is Med Relief, and who they bought that? Med Relief. And these are the most popular strains of flower. Med Relief. Yeah, so I mean, that's just showing you got probably like 24 different SKUs on there, and they just bought the shit out of all these companies, so they eliminate the competition. Yeah, so there's 130 million people will have legal access to cannabis in Mexico. They invested in High Tide, an Alberta-based retail-focused cannabis and lifestyle accessory company, and they diversified its retail with additional retail opportunities across Canada. NYSE on October 23rd, Australia's completed the sale as part of a spin-off of Capital, private of, and the senior notes that they've already talked about. Financial supplement. That's interesting. So there's Cannabis dried revenue, 15.4 million. That's pretty good. EU dried cannabis, 2.853 million. Cannabis extracts, 7.73. So it doesn't say where these extracts are selling to. Yeah, and then dried cannabis and cannabis. This is adult. So total adult use was 21 million. Interesting. Net revenue, patient counseling. So this is patient counseling service, analytical testing service, horizontal integrated business revenues. I don't know what that means. So yeah, she's talking about the conference call. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I basically go into depth about the whole Aurora and their revenues this quarter, where the company's going, and all that good stuff. I hope you enjoy this video. Please give me a thumbs up. If you dislike the video, give me a thumbs down, and subscribe for future content. Hit the bell notification down below so you can be notified when I upload from time to time on cannabis and commodity stocks, and I've done a few videos on financial education. So until next time, peace.